we have seen the iterative methods. The one of the method was Gauss-Jordan, and another method was Gauss-Seidel. Out of these two methods, Gauss-Seidel is the most widely used method as compared to Gauss-Jordan because of having good accuracy. Okay, so good accuracy as compared to Gauss-Jordan. So Gauss-Seidel is most widely used iterative method. And now when you use iterative method, essentially we do not use the matrix, we do not construct the matrix. So these are matrix free methods. Matrix free methods are used. Okay. And we have seen how Gauss-Seidel with matrix free formulation can be done. So we have seen that the newer gas was the gas value plus the correction, and in these cases correction was the residual of that system divided by the central coefficient Rij, and that is what we have seen in the last class. Okay, so this solution keeps on. Suppose this solution, if you assume a 2 value, and finally when you solve this equation, ax prime is equals to b minus axg. If you solve this system, you will get x prime, and suppose that x prime is 2 again, then the total becomes 4. So xg becomes 4. So next time this x is equals to xg is now 4. So this 4 plus, now whatever again with this xg4, whatever x prime you get, suppose x prime you got is 1, then this will become 5. So next x you will calculate. So xg is right now, the xg is, this is xg, this is again xg. So we are correcting that gas with this correction, and new gases are found. New gases, so this gas at the end will become the actual value. So likewise you keep on doing, keep on calculating this xg values, and a stage will come when these value become converged. Okay, so these values will become converged. Suppose now I'm getting 0.000, so next time it will become 5. So again, so you see the distance difference between these two values. So there will be some criteria. Okay, so some criteria to stop the iteration. But essential process is to guess the solution. So if the guess solution is 2, then find out the correction, get the correction, and get the xg. Okay. So x prime is not calculated from this equation. Okay, but it is calculated from Rij. Okay. So whatever this 2 got, to whatever this 2 number you got, that is from Rij, Aij. That is 2. Here also this is coming from this Rij, Aia. Similarly, all this. Okay. So we do not use any matrix. So that is this is not used. This matrix is not used. That is what you are saying. So instead of using matrix, we use this. Okay, so in the matrix free method. So we use Rij, Ai. So with this, we would like to go for Gauss-Seidel method for solving 2D unsteady heat conduction equation using BTCS scheme. Okay, so today's target is to see how Gauss-Seidel algorithm can be used to solve the system of equations simultaneously. Okay, so that is our objective. So what was our problem? So the problem was having a governing equations. Okay, and you had an initial condition t at any x, y, and small t is equals to 0. It was given as t naught, and boundary conditions, left boundary was del t del x is equals to 0, and right boundary condition was negative k dt dx is equals to h t minus t infinity, and bottom boundary condition was del t del y equals to 0, and top boundary condition was negative k dt dy is equals to h t minus t infinity. Okay, so this was the problem with these boundary conditions. Okay, and we wanted to solve this problem. So this problem was, if you have to say, it was like this. So here the various boundary condition was, this is the left boundary, this is the left boundary, this is was right boundary, this is top, and this is bottom. Okay, so the boundary conditions are as shown, and these are the grid points, and we wanted to uh, solve for this system. Okay, solve for this ij. Okay, and I is running from 1 to nx, 1 to nx, and j is running from 1 to ny. Okay, so bottom boundary is I is equals to 1 to nx is the bottom, j 1 to ny is the left, and subsequent right and top accordingly. Okay, Now, when you apply the BTCS scheme, so when you apply the BTCS scheme, so for this equation for interior points, for all these interior points, okay, for all these interior points, so for these all these interior points, this equation, when you use BTCS, this equation for interior points, the equation becomes Tij n plus 1 minus Tij n divided by delta T is equals to alpha T T I plus 1 comma j minus 2 Tij plus Ti minus 1 j n plus 1, all are n plus 1 delta x square plus Ti j plus 1 minus twice Tij plus Tij minus 1. These are all n plus 1 values, n plus 1, n plus 1, and this is delta y square. Okay. So this is for all interior points. So this is for I running from 2 to, this is a 2, I2, J2, 2 to nx minus 1, and j running from 2 to ny minus 1, 2 to ny minus 1. Okay. So this is one thing. So let me write this as equation 1. Now what about this left boundary condition? Left boundary condition becomes T2j n plus 1 T1j n plus 1 is equals to n plus 1 is equals to 0, and this is for j is equals to 1 to ny. Okay, this is left boundary, and I is fixed. I's are 2 and 1. I's are 2 and 1. J is varying. So this is another equation for left boundary. Similarly, for bottom boundary condition, you can write, or for right boundary condition, you can write. For right boundary condition, this will become K T nx comma j n plus 1 minus T nx minus 1 comma j n plus 1 divided by delta x plus h T nx comma j n plus 1 is equals to h T infinity n, or you can say this is n plus 1 also, but this is known value, and this is for so this is for right boundary. So this is for j again j1 to j1, this is again for j1 to ny, for j is equals to 1 to ny. So this is 3. What about bottom boundary condition? Bottom boundary condition will come like this.
Sir,
Yeah, sec.
sir, why in governing equation, why are the limits from I equal to 2 to nx minus 1, sir? Will
Because
they be not set to the
these are
boundaries also, sir?
No. That is the crux. Okay, because at boundaries, these are the equations. Del t by del x is equal to 0 is the equation at the boundary. This dt by dx, dt by dt, alpha, this thing is for interior points. Okay, remember this. This equation is only for interior points, because at boundaries you have these equations. This is the equation at boundary, left boundary. This is the equation at right boundary, not this. Got it?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, sir,
Yeah.
but here in the second equation, T2j and T1j both are unknowns, right?
No, actually what will happen is once you solve this equation, suppose you solve this equation number 1. Okay, so when you solve this equation number 1, this T2j is a known value. This value will be known, isn't it? But this boundary
Sir,
value,
when we are considering for j is equal to 1,
but this boundary value is unknown. So this boundary value is nothing but equals to this value. That is what we are saying. We have to assign a boundary condition such a way that boundary values will satisfy and unknown values will be known from the previous calculated value.
Sir, but for j is equal to 1, that T21 is not known, right? Because it is also a boundary, right? So first we...
Yeah, so there we are not running at all. Okay, so that is a somewhat overlapping boundary condition. Okay, so these points are little critical. These corner points are little critical. Okay, so in some cases we are starting with j1 to ny, but when I'll start with this, I'll start from this to this. When I applying boundary condition, I will start from this to this, because when I was taking left boundary, I have already taken this point. So when I'm taking this bottom boundary, I don't have to take this point. I'll start from this point to this point. You got it? Okay.
No, sir, but no, like to get T11, T11 we should know T21, right? But T21 is unknown, right? It is also a boundary. Like when we are starting from j is equal to 1.
Yeah, but that will be calculated. Since you are how you are calculating, that will matter. Suppose, for example, then you have to put out bottom first. Okay, so when you calculate this value, so when you are applying bottom condition first, okay, so you can make the ordering. Now you can make the ordering. Say, for example, you want to start with J2, you can do that. Okay, if you wish me to do that, I can start with this J2 and ny minus 1. Here also I can start with J2 ny minus 1. Okay, so J2 ny minus 1. Now when I'm starting with bottom, now already 1 is known, like that. Okay, so when I'm doing this for J1 to ny minus 1, before that I will give bottom boundary condition. I will calculate bottom boundary condition such a way that I get this value. So in next to that, I will calculate left boundary condition, so that this value will be known. You are getting this, Namita?
Yeah, so we should calculate dou t by dou y first, and then
Yes, it depends. Yeah, that is what the designing of your computer program is. Okay, so that is what you have to design in your computer program. Okay.
Okay.
Even if you don't do it, it will overlap. Somewhere it will overlap. Even if you start all your boundary condition, if you start from 1 to nx, that is also no problem. J1 to ny, because at some point they will overlap each other and they will give you the some values. Okay. So you can make that ordering. So let us make this order like J2 you calculated first in order to rectify your whatever you are saying. So let me start like that, no problem. And then what I did is this I took left, right and bottom. Now for bottom case, already we have I is varying and I2 n plus 1 minus T I1 n plus 1, that should be equals to 0. And this for I, now I can say for I1 to nx. Okay, no problem. Now what are you saying, that problem will not come. But even then it doesn't matter. I mean, it will overlap at some point of time. That is what I'm saying. So this condition for fourth number condition, and next will be the top boundary condition. So top boundary condition will be like so T top boundary condition, you have these two values, and sorry, once again I am writing T I n y minus T I n y minus 1, and all are n plus 1, n plus 1, and delta y. H T I n y n plus 1 is equals to H T infinity n plus 1. And this is from I 1 to nx again. For I equals to 1 to nx. This is 5. Okay. So now we have all the discretized equation 1, equation 2, 3, 4, 5 for this whole problem. Okay. So whole problem, which was a PDE, now converted into simultaneous equations, algebraic simultaneous equations. Now this was a PDE, and now we got a simultaneous algebraic equations. Okay. Discrete form of equations. Okay. Discretized equation. This is called discretized equations. Okay. Now to solve this system, what we have to do? We have to find the central coefficients and corresponding residuals, right? So from equation 1, so we'll do one by one. So I'll just try to use another. So you want to find out central coefficients. Central coefficients. So from this equation, central coefficients, so from equation 1, so from equation 1, we'll get central coefficients like A II. So AII is always central coefficient. So what are the central coefficients here? So suppose you take alpha delta t delta x square is gamma x, that already we have taken delta x square, and similarly gamma y alpha delta t delta x square, and you combine, then all the coefficients of Tij, coefficients of the Tij, those were coming like 1 plus 2 gamma x plus 2 gamma y. Those were the coefficients. Yesterday also you have seen. that these were the coefficients. Now from equation 2, which is the main point from equation 2, which is the main point of interest? Boundary point. What is the boundary point here? This is a boundary point. T1j is a boundary point. T1j is a boundary point. So we have to find out the coefficient of that. Coefficient of this Tij is Aii equals to -1. And from equation 3, what do you get? What is our point of interest in equation 3? This is a right boundary condition, right? So when it is a right, it is nxj. This nxj is of interest.
The 2021 iPads
So what is
are just a few
that?
weeks away.
What is the important one? So AII in those cases is K delta x, this K delta x of this plus H. From this equation, from equation 4, this is for the bottom boundary condition. So for bottom boundary condition, this is the main elements of the
So for the boundary condition, it is minus k, right?
which one?
For the boundary conditions, it is minus k dou t by dou x.
Yeah, we have removed that. We have removed that negative sign because this H is brought in here inside. Is it? You check this. H is brought in. It was negative. This thing equals to that. Here it was negative, na? So now this H goes here. So it becomes minus HT and equals to minus HT naught. So negative gone. Okay. We have removed that negative sign. So from equation number 4, again, this is the central point, Tij. So central coefficient of the central variable. Central variable is this. Central coefficient is Aii equals to -1. From equation 5, which is a point? This is a top boundary. So Iny, this is a central variable. This is a central variable. So your Aii is equals to K delta y plus H. Okay. So this way we have found out Aia for equation 1, Aii for equation 2, equation 3, equation 4, and equation 5. Okay. Next step is to find out what do you need? Residuals, right? We need residuals to be find out. We need to find out the residuals. Okay. For this particular first equation, residuals from, so we have to find out residuals. Okay. So residual is nothing but residual R is equals to RHS right hand side minus left hand side. Okay, that is what. So from equation number 1, from equation 1, we get R, residual R. RHS will be this Tij n, right? And everything will be Tij n plus then gamma y Tij minus 1 n gamma x Ti minus 1. Yesterday we have written all this. I'm just repeating again to make you clear. 1 plus 2. Central coefficient is also coming here. Okay. So it need not to think that again you have to cancel this. No. I plus 1 comma j, n plus 1 plus gamma y t I j plus 1 n plus 1. Okay, n plus 1 values are the unknown values, the current approximation, and this is previous. This is current approximation, this is previous. So R for now similarly from equation 2, your R is, what is R? So for equation 2, this goes right hand side, T1J goes right hand side, n plus 1 minus T2J, n plus 1. This becomes residual. From equation number 3, residual is equals to, so H T infinity n plus 1 minus H T nx j n plus 1 minus K delta x T nx j n plus 1 minus T nx minus 1 comma j. This is from equation number 4, residual is equals to, so let me write let me write R only. So T I1 n plus 1 minus T I2 n plus 1. From equation 5, residual R is equals to H T infinity n plus 1 minus H T I n y n plus 1 minus K delta y T I n y n plus 1 minus T I n y minus 1 n plus 1. Okay. So we have calculated AII and R. Okay. Now how do we solve this? So I'll just write an algorithm to solve this. So algorithm, BTCS algorithm. Okay. So number one thing is we have to initialize. Okay, initialize all the values. So initialize what are the needed things like delta x, delta y, delta t. These need to be calculated, and we know how to calculate these values. What are your nx, what are your ny, that has to be initialized. Okay, and then create some arrays. So array of t old, which will be a 2-dimensional array of size nx comma ny. Okay, that should be the size. What are nx and what are ny you are taking, and also create one more array t new, which will be of also same size nx ny. Okay, to store the old values of the temperature and to store the new values of the temperature, we are using these arrays. Yeah.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah, carry on.
Sir, while writing residuals for equation 2 and for equation 4, residual we write it as RHS minus LHS, where RHS is the known value. But here we wrote T1J minus T2.
Here known value is 0. RHS is 0. Okay. So 0 minus this thing.
Okay,
left hand
understood.
RH.
But
LH.
we know T2J, right? Because it is the interior point, T2J.
So it's okay. Even if it is there, it will be minus, na?
Yes.
So ordering will be changing, but it will be minus 2 T22J plus T1J. So it doesn't matter. It will be the same equation. Yeah? But
Okay.
always see that whatever right hand side is there, you just keep on putting left hand side negative of that. Okay. So at then what you have to do once you create at n is equals to 0, you have to use initial condition. So at the first time, when at the start of the time, you have to make all old variables t old matrix, all the t old, you have to assign what are the boundary condition. T naught was the boundary condition, so in T naught you have to put this initial condition. This is your initial condition. Okay. So in this variable T old array, in this array we have stored all T naught values. T naught values may be 100 or 200 Kelvin, like that. Okay, this may be some value. This will have to give. Okay. So all the points will have all in this all domain, everywhere the values will be 200 Kelvin. Okay, that is what the meaning is. So you have to initialize it and then second is first guess. You have to use first guess. First guess for your t value, okay, which we call t new. T new is equals to your guess value is t old. So I will say that my guess value, let me start my guess value with the initial condition itself. Okay, so this t old is already now initial condition, t naught is given. So I'll just say let me start my guess value with the initial condition. That is very logically correct. Okay, so t old is a first guess. Then once you made that guess, you have to find out what do you have to find out. Suppose you have this, then you have the guess, you already made the guess, then you have to find out the corrections, right? And how do you find the corrections? Through central coefficients and residuals. Okay, so I'll just write that. So what I'll write, 3 1 sweep over all interior points. Interior, you remember, you keep interior points. Okay, so this is important, interior points. Sweep over all interior points such a way that this t new ij, okay, t new ij will be equals to t new. Now this t new, this is assigned operator. So these are the variable. T new ij is already a t old. Okay, so I'm not writing t old here because t new is already made t old. So this is in programming, you have to keep on using some variable which will be same type, but this variable will be keep on changing. Okay, because we would like to keep on adding the values of that later point. This plus this is equals to, then we have to take r. Whatever r coming from equation 1, r from equation 1 divided by aii from the equation 1. Okay. Similarly, sweep means you have to use boundary conditions. So so sweep over all interior points and for boundary points also. So this sweeping, so sweeping again, sweep along left boundary, left boundary. Okay, so even in the left boundary also T new. So here in the left boundary, your I is fixed 1j. This is 1j, not ij. This is 1j, 1j. This is equals to T new 1 comma j plus R of the equation 2, left aii of the equation for left boundary. Similarly, another loop will be there. Sweeping means you have to make a for loop here. For I is equals to this thing, for j is equals to this thing, this is a one loop. This is another loop. Sweep along right boundary. So for right boundary, you have to write again T new. For right boundary, you have nx comma j is equals to T new nx comma j plus r ai. This r coming from the right boundary condition equation. Okay, so equation number 3. Then similarly, the fourth one, so sweep along bottom boundary condition. So you get T new. So at bottom, your I is varying and T new I1 plus residual divided by aii coming from that equation. Number 5, sweep. This is another loop. Sweep along top boundary condition. Boundary, not boundary condition. Top boundary. Okay. Sweep along top boundary. So top boundary again T new will be. So I is varying and top boundary you have ny is equals to T new I ny plus residual r ai. So you see here everywhere we are not using any matrix. We are simply calculating and going ahead with this. Okay, we are finding r of r and aii and then putting it and then calculating T new. Okay. So next step is, so once you do this, next step number 4 is the, so you have to make a condition. If RMS, so R residual, you have to calculate residual RMS is say greater than some epsilon value, then you go to step 3. Okay. So unless this RMS value falls below certain value, you have to keep on doing this number 3. You have to keep on doing this number 3. Okay, for all the points, interior, boundary points, you have to keep on calculating this T new till you get proper T new. This is a guess value, then correction value. Again, that value, the total value becomes again new guess value, then new residual. Keep on calculating till you get RRMS. Okay, residual RMS. Now I'll show you what are the convergence criteria for this. Is RRMS you can write the RMS criteria can be written in various ways, so I'll just give that criteria later. Then what you can do once this criteria is done, then number 5 you can do is, if this is, and else means if RMS is less than this, then print the values. Then that is our solution. So print the t new ij. Whatever t new values are there, you just keep on printing. Okay, and and n is equals to, so once you done this, this is only for n is equals to 1. Okay, n is equals to 0, already we had given an initial condition, and we guessed those initial condition as a t new value, and these are at n is equals to 1. So next time also we have to check. Okay, so at n is equals to 1 itself, we have lot of loops. This is one loop, another loop, another loop, another loop, another loop. Within this, all these 4-5 loops, they should converge. Okay, they should give you the value. So here there is a loop till we get RMS. Once we got, we print the value. Then again we move to n is equals to 2. Okay, by using this n, that is nothing but t is equals to t plus 1. T plus 1 means delta t. T wherever t is coming, you keep on changing that value. And what you can say that t old is equals to t new. That is important. T old is equals to t new is important, because when you go here, the t old values, this new guesses for the time number 2, n is equal to 2, that will become t old. So t old will be these values coming from the n is equals to 1. So when you are going, so this is for initially n is equals to 0, you calculated n is equals to 1. Now when you come for n is equals to 2, at this moment these are the values for n is equals to 1, and you calculate for this whole loop for n is equals to 2. Once you get convergence, we get again n is equals to 3. Then for that, you use for to calculate n is equals to 2 values will be given as old values, not initial condition values. Okay, now initial condition has no role. This initial condition, initially it was given, but now it is previous time value. Okay, so it goes for n is equals to 2, it will be n1. For n is equals to 3, it will be n2, like that. So t new is equals to t old is equal to t new has to be done, and you stop. If stopping criteria is not satisfied, return to 2. So till stopping criteria, this has to be done till stopping criteria is met. If not, then go to step 2. Go to step 2. Again keep on calculating till your n. Now this is a criteria for time. So in a time domain we are moving. So where to stop? But in the space domain, we were doing iterations. We were calculating the values at these points by doing guess and correct, guess and correct, guess the value, correct the value, guess the value, correct the value, till we get actual value at this point, correct value at this point. Okay. Similarly, all other points like that. You understand that? That has to be understood. And we keep on moving from n1, n2, n3 like that, and we go. And then finally we print the values. 6, print the values. Okay, so I stop here. Thank you.